Image labeling drag and drop is the second of 4 item types in the image labeling category and is an alternative method of labeling images by dragging and dropping the labels onto the image. When creating an image labeling drag and drop item, you will be able to select any image to use in your item. You will place points on this image and provide labels that correspond with each point. The student, when answering this question, will match the labels to the points on the image by dragging the labels and dropping them onto the points. Let's make an image labeling drag and drop item now. Select Image Labeling Drag and Drop from the list of item types. Begin by giving your item a code and a label. Your label and code should make it easy for you to identify your item in the future. In the item stem, provide critical details the student may need to know in order to answer the question correctly. Next, select the image you want to be labeled by clicking the Browse Image Library button. Find the image you want to use and click Select. Your image will appear in the space below, and you may now edit it for labeling. You may want to change your image's size. You do this by clicking Set Size, located to the right of your image, then changing the values in the height and width boxes to the values you want, and clicking the Reload button. This can be done quickly and repeatedly to tailor the image to your specifications. You may also use the color wheel just below to change the color of the points you'll be placing. This could be useful in the event the default color blends in too well with your image and is not clearly visible. Click on the image directly over or right next to the points you want to mark for labeling. Make sure not to accidentally cover the places the students will need to see. If you misplace a point, you may click on the point and drag it to adjust its location. If you place too many points, you may click the Clear All button located to the right and reset your points. Points will automatically label from A to Z as you place them. Once you have all the points you want placed on the image, click the button that says Click here to generate choices. You will see a list generated below your image with spaces to input the correct labels for each point on your image. Under Choice Details, you can also choose to award points for each correctly placed label in the item by selecting Choice Level. Remember, this means that the student can still receive points on this item even if some labels are placed incorrectly. Alternatively, you can select Item Level and only award points for correctly placing every label in the item. This means that the student will only receive points on this item if all labels are correctly placed. Otherwise, the entire question will be considered incorrect. You will now input the correct labels to the points on this list. If you've selected Item Level, be sure to provide the score value in the box that appears. If you selected Choice Level for scoring, be sure to provide score values for the correct answers for each choice before moving on. Values in the wrong score column must be set to 0 or a negative value. You may provide feedback for the student to see after their test has been completed by clicking on the feedback boxes and typing your comments. You're almost done creating an image labeling drag and drop item. Be sure to fill in the remaining required fields below, such as complexity and classification, to categorize your item. You may provide hints and metadata before finishing your item if you prefer. When you're ready to test your image labeling item, click the Save button at the bottom of the screen. If all the required fields are filled out properly, you will be taken back to the Manage Items screen, where you may find your item in the folder where you clicked Add to create it. A quick preview will show if your item is working the way you intended it to. Click on the Options menu for the item and select Preview to see what your item will look like. You should see your image with the points on it and a list of your labels in random order on the left. There are 2 ways to successfully match your label choices to the points. You may click on a label first, then a point to have it lock in, or you may click on the label and drag it over the point, then drop it to lock it in. You may switch labels currently placed by clicking on them, dragging them over a different point, and dropping. Click the Submit button below when you're done. Keep in mind, you may need to scroll down to see the Submit button if your image is particularly large. A results screen will appear and tell you how you did. If you got the score you expected, your image labeling drag and drop item is likely performing how you want it to. You can back out and click Edit to make any adjustments if needed. Congratulations on completing your image labeling drag and drop item.